Long before the towns of North Carolina were here, there were the fertile lands of this state and its rivers. Before roads, these rivers were our highways, and where they went, towns were settled. They had names like the New River, Little PD, and here in the western part of the state is the mighty Yadkin. Today, the Yadkin River Heritage Corridor has been created to help visitors explore the many wonders to be found within a half-mile of the Yadkin River along a 129-mile stretch ending in Yadkin County and beginning in Caldwell County. The Yadkin River rises in the northwestern part of the state near the Blue Ridge Parkway's Thunder Hill Overlook near the Green Park Inn. Nearby are scenic treasures like Blowing Rock. In the 1700s, the windy cliffs of the area were home to the Cherokee and the Catawba Indian tribes, and thus began the legend of Blowing Rock. Two lovers, one from each tribe, were forbidden to see each other. In his anguish, he threw himself from the large rock, only to have the winds of the Johns River Gorge blow him back into his lover's arms. The legend can be seen today when demonstrated with a ball cap. Happy Valley is another stop along the corridor, where each Labor Day weekend, visitors pay homage to even more of the legends and stories of this peaceful valley at the historic Happy Valley Old Time Fiddlers Convention. The convention takes place each year on the Jones family farm, northeast of Lenoir on North Carolina Byway 268. Two more events held at the farm which promote an appreciation of traditional farming and history are Mow Day, which happens each fall, and Plow Day, featured each spring. Other farms in the area include this goat dairy farm. Happy Valley is also the site of the Ruriton Park, complete with ball fields. The Fountain is the name of a home built in 1807 by Colonel William Davenport and his wife Mary, oldest daughter of General William Lenoir. Davenport served as Justice of the Peace, a North Carolina legislator, senator, and founded Davenport College. The house has solid walnut and oak corner posts. Locust pins and handmade nails were used extensively throughout the structure. It's located on the south side of Highway 268. Across the highway is the Chapel of Rest Church, an Episcopalian church built in 1887. The chapel burned in 1916 and was rebuilt in 1917. It was used until 1921 when services were moved to the Patterson School campus. The chapel is open for special events, daily meditation, and weddings. In the cemetery are the graves of the Pattersons, along with the former headmaster of the school, and the grave of a Confederate general. Patterson School is located near the chapel and remains a private, non-profit, co-educational, non-denominational, multicultural boarding and day school for grades 7 through 12. North of Patterson School is Todd's Country Store, a charming country store first opened in 1924 in the Buffalo Cove community. Back on Highway 268 is Fort Defiance, the former home of Revolutionary War Captain William Lenoir. Lenoir became famous for his participation at the Battle of Kings Mountain. He began building his home here in 1788 and referred to it as Fort Defiance. The home was finished in 1792. The legend of Tom Dula, or Dooley as he's more popularly called, was born in this area of North Carolina. The woman Dooley was accused of killing in 1865, Miss Laura Foster, is buried near the Yadkin River on Highway 268 north of Lenoir. On up the highway from Laura Foster's grave is Riverside, a beautiful home built in 1862 by John Langdon Jones. In 1882, Colonel George N. Folk purchased Riverside and expanded it into one of the most prestigious law schools in the state called Blackstone. The Blackstone Post Office was also located nearby, though it no longer stands. Across the Yadkin, you'll also find Mariah's Riverside Chapel, a United Methodist church with cemetery established in 1875. Other historic markers, like this one from the Civil War, can be found throughout Caldwell County. As the Yadkin continues its northeastern trek, You'll cross over into Wilkes County, where the abundance of cultural and historical heritage can be found around every bend, starting in Elkville. Continuing on are famous homesteads like the Cornelius Howard Home and the Hartley Boarding House. Tom Doola's grave is also located in this section of Wilkes County. Up the river a bit toward Wilkesboro is the community of Ferguson and a recreated 19th century village called Whippoorwill. Several historic buildings were moved here and restored, including a church, a schoolhouse, blacksmith shop, and more. W. Carr Scott Reservoir is a beautiful 1,475-acre lake built by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers in 1962 in response to devastating floods in 1916 and 1940. It has 55 miles of shoreline and is a popular recreation site with facilities like the Dam Site Park and Fish Dam Creek Overlook. Located close to the W. Carr Scott Reservoir is Fort Hanby Park. It was once the site of a skirmish after the last Civil War battle in North Carolina between an irregular band of outlaws and a handful of locals they had terrorized. In the end, the locals won and the outlaws surrendered. Today, Fort Hanby is a campground with 32 sites for campers and an amphitheater. The Overmountain Victory National Historic Trail is part of the U.S. National Trails System. It travels through Virginia, Tennessee, South Carolina, and this section of North Carolina, retracing the route of Patriot militia as they tracked down the British. Eventually, the two forces clashed, ending in Patriot victory at the Battle of Kings Mountain. The trail network consists of a 330-mile corridor, including a 70-mile branch from Elkin, North Carolina, that joins the main route at Morganton, North Carolina. Traveling on down the Yadkin takes you to the Trail of the Eagle Museum and the Kenneth Walsh History and Art Museum, along with more recreational facilities like the YMCA and the Greenway. An area of higher learning can be found at Wilkes Community College and the James Larkin Pearson Library. On the grounds of Wilkes Community College, an outdoor concert is held each spring called Merlefest. In 1988, legendary Grammy-winning folk music guitarist Doc Watson and singer Bill Young started Merlefest in honor of Doc's late son, Merle Watson. Merlefest has grown into the largest bluegrass and folk music festival in the United States, drawing over 85,000 music fans each year. In addition, Wilkes Community College also provides the Eddie Merle Watson Garden of the Senses, Rose Gardens, and walking trails. Wilkesboro is the county seat of Wilkes County and is believed to be built on the site of what had been a major Indian settlement. Today, many historical and cultural sites remain, like St. Paul's Episcopal Church, completed in 1849. It was situated on the crest of a hill above Wilkesboro and the Yadkin River and became one of the earliest consecrated in the Episcopal Diocese of Western North Carolina. In 2002, it became part of the Benjamin F. Long IV Fresco Trail. Here, 2 frescoes were painted depicting the story of St. Paul. The home of Robert Cleveland, gentleman farmer, and his family of 17 children was built in the 1770s in Purlear, North Carolina. It was moved to Wilkesboro and restored behind the old jail. Colonel Benjamin Cleveland, Robert's brother, lived in Wilkes County and led forces from this region to the Battle of Kings Mountain in the Revolutionary War. The old Wilkes County Courthouse was built in 1902. Behind the courthouse was a Tory oak where, it is said, sympathizers with the Crown were hanged during the Revolutionary War. The old tree was destroyed by 2 storms in June 1989 and 1992. And has been replaced by a similar black oak tree. Today, the courthouse has been transformed into the Wilkes Heritage Museum, offering self-guided tours featuring the rich history of Wilkes County. This late 19th century Carpenter Gothic structure saw a succession of lawyers pass through its doors, as many held their practices there over the years. The Smithy Hotel is east of the old courthouse and was built in 1891. It was once the center of mercantile trade on the ground floor, with the area's main hotel above. The Johnson Hubbard House was built in 1855 by Stephen Johnson and purchased in 1885 by Julius C. Hubbard. The house has stayed in the same family through its history and has remained much in its original state. The old Wilkes Jail was completed in 1860 and is located behind the old county courthouse. It has since been restored and serves as a museum. One of its most infamous inmates was Tom Dooley. The Brown Cowles House dates from the 1830s and is the oldest known building remaining in Wilkesboro. Hamilton Brown built the central structure, and Congressman William H. Cowles expanded it. Many of these sites can also be visited after dark during a candlelight ghost tour. There you can experience a historical tour of Old Wilkes by candlelight with an excellent storyteller in period costume describing tales of ghostly happenings, such as the infamous Tom Dooley that spent time in the old Wilkes jail, and the Smithy family that still haunt the old Smithy Hotel. Just a stone's throw away is the town of North Wilkesboro, founded in 1891 when the Norfolk and Southern Railroad built a rail line in Wilkes County. The line ended near the northern bank of the Yadkin River, opposite from Wilkesboro. The town quickly grew near the railroad tracks. Today, the arts are prevalent in this small town, with an art gallery, famed Benton Hall with its many live performances, along with live music each Friday morning during the hometown Opry at Minton's Pawn Shop. You'll also find the Black Cat Station in North Wilkesboro. It's a model railroad layout with up to 5 tracks and 10 trains running at once, open to the public the second Saturday of each month. North Wilkesboro is also home to one of the largest one-day arts and crafts festivals in the Southeast, the Brushy Mountain Apple Festival, held the first Saturday in October. 2 more festivals in town are the Shine to Wine Festival each May, along with Carolina in the fall, an award-winning music festival that takes place on the Green Shepherd Farm off Highway 115 on Armory Road each September. For recreation, softball and baseball games can be enjoyed throughout the spring and summer months at Memorial Ballpark. Venturing on down Highway 268 near the town of Ronda is Roaring River Canoe Rentals, available to take passengers on treks down the mighty Yadkin. Also in Ronda is the magnificent home called Claymont Hill. By the mid-1800s, the area included several large plantations like it along the Yadkin River that were farmed by slaves, as well as a few smaller farms. Raffaldini Vineyards is also located in the community in a magnificent setting overlooking the Brushy Mountains. Other sites of interest in Wilkes County include Tharp's Mill, built in 1884, as well as the former Jolly's Mill, now on the property of Elkin Creek Winery and Vineyards in Elkin. Further downstream is Surry County, formed in 1771 and named for the county of Surrey in England. In the northern district of the county is Pilot Mountain, which rises more than 1,400 feet above the rolling countryside. Further south is the town of Elkin, a thriving historic and cultural community with trains that still move through the heart of the town. It's home to the Richard Gwynn Museum, the Foothills Arts Council, and Cedar Point, the first home built in Elkin and the second oldest in Surry County. Each year in the fall, it hosts the Pumpkin Festival, a one-day event that brings more than 15,000 visitors to downtown Elkin to enjoy live entertainment, shopping, food, and gigantic pumpkins. It's also home to the Yadkin Valley Wine Festival held each year in May. Elkin is an active community with town parks like Crater Park and Chatham Park that host youth events almost year-round. Other sites of interest include the Elkin Public Library and Galloway Memorial Episcopal Church, both on the shores of Big Elkin Creek. Vineyards are plentiful in Surry County. In this area along the Yadkin alone, you'll find Grassy Creek, Carolina Heritage, William Cornelius,